Cheslin Colby is so good that England's fastest rising star just publicly admitted he's studying him. Henry Arendel, the 23-year-old winger who just scored a hat trick against Wales, told the media that Cheslin is, quote, probably the best winger in the world in terms of all-round game. The double World Cup winner has England's most dangerous player copying his style, studying his aerial game, analyzing his defense, trying to replicate what makes the Springbok legend unstoppable. And on July 4th at Ellis Park, Arendel gets his chance to face his idol. This is the ultimate compliment to South African rugby. Look at what Arendel actually said, because this is huge for Springbok fans. Quote, Cheslin Colby is probably the best winger in the world in terms of his all-round game. I've been studying how he's evolved his game, especially his aerial work and his defensive positioning. An England international is admitting that a Springbok is the benchmark, the guy everyone wants to be. And it's not just talk. Arendel is actively watching Cheslin's games, breaking down his movement, trying to understand what makes him so special. That's the respect South Africa commands in world rugby right now. Here's why this matters so much. Cheslin Colby isn't just a winger, he's a weapon. 1.69 meters tall, 85 kilograms. Not the biggest guy on the field, but pound for pound the most dangerous. 2 World Cups, crucial tries in both finals. The sidestep that breaks ankles, the acceleration that leaves defenders grabbing air, the bravery on defense despite his size. And now England's best young winger is saying that's what I want to be. That's the influence the Springboks have. Other countries don't just respect South Africa, they're copying them. Let me tell you about Henry Arendel, because you need to understand who's praising Cheslin. This kid is 23 years old. He just scored a hat trick against Wales in 35 minutes. 3 tries in 35 minutes. England won 48-7 and Arendel was unstoppable. He now has 11 tries in just 12 caps for England. That's almost a try per game. He's one of the most lethal finishers in world rugby. Fast as lightning, great hands, reads the game brilliantly. And even he is looking at Cheslin thinking, I need to be more like that guy. That's dominance. Now let's talk about why Arendel is studying Cheslin specifically. He mentioned 2 things, aerial game and defensive positioning. The aerial game first. Cheslin has evolved from being just a speed merchant to being elite under the high ball. Remember early in his career, teams would target him with high kicks because of his size. Not anymore. Now Cheslin competes in the air. He times his jumps perfectly. He secures ball that bigger guys miss. He's turned a weakness into a strength, and Arendel sees that. He's thinking, if Cheslin can do it at 1.69 meters, I can do it at 1.83 meters. That's smart analysis. The defensive positioning is equally impressive. Cheslin Colby is 85 kilograms, making tackles on guys who are 110, 120 kilograms. How? Perfect positioning. He doesn't try to smash people. He forces ball carriers into touch. He gets low and chops legs. He's intelligent with his defense. And that's what Arendel wants to learn. Because being fast isn't enough at test level. You need to defend. You need to position yourself correctly. And Cheslin is the master. If you're not subscribed, you're missing Springbok domination content like this every day. Hit subscribe now, because what's coming next about the July 4th clash will get you hyped. Here's what makes this perfect for Springbok fans. England is on a 12-game winning streak, 12 wins in a row. They're playing their best rugby in years. They just destroyed Wales. They beat Ireland. They're gaining confidence. And their best young player is saying, we need to be more like the Springboks. That tells you everything about who's really on top. England might be winning, but they know who the standard is. South Africa, the back-to-back world champions, the team everyone is trying to copy. Now let's preview the July 4th clash at Ellis Park, because this is going to be massive. England comes to Johannesburg, altitude, hostile crowd, 60,000 Springbok fans screaming, and Henry Arendel will be on the field trying to use what he learned from studying Cheslin. But here's the problem for England. Studying Cheslin on video is one thing. Facing him in person is completely different. The speed looks different in real life. The footwork is even more deceptive. And playing at altitude in front of a hostile Ellis Park crowd? Good luck with that. Let me tell you what Cheslin will be thinking when he hears about Arendel's comments. He'll be flattered, but he'll also be motivated, because when someone says you're the best, you have to prove it. July 4th, Cheslin will want to show Arendel exactly why he's the benchmark. Every sidestep will have extra sauce. Every defensive read will be perfect. Every high ball will be secured. Cheslin is going to put on a clinic for his young admirer. That's what legends do. Here's the history between these two teams that makes this even better. England hasn't beaten South Africa in a World Cup cutout game, ever. The Springboks own England when it matters. 2007 semifinal, Springboks win. 2019 final, Springboks destroy them. England can beat South Africa in meaningless November tests, but when titles are on the line, South Africa dominates. And that's the psychological advantage. England knows it. Their players know it. Even when they're on a 12-game winning streak, they're still looking at the Springboks thinking that's the team to beat. Now let's compare Cheslin and Arendel directly because the stats are fascinating. Cheslin, 32 years old, 55 caps, multiple World Cups, proven at the highest level. Arendel, 23 years old, 12 caps, incredible potential, but unproven in massive games. Cheslin has done it in World Cup finals. Arendel has done it against Wales in February. There are levels to this, and July 4th will show the difference between potential and proven greatness. Here's what I love about this story. It's not disrespectful from Arendel. He's not saying, I'm better than Cheslin. He's saying Cheslin is the best and I want to learn from him. That's respect. That's acknowledging greatness. And for Springbok fans, that's validation. We know Cheslin is special. We've watched him destroy opponents for years. But when England's best young winger confirms it publicly, that hits different. That's the rugby world admitting South Africa is the standard. Make sure you're subscribed because tomorrow's video breaks down the full England squad coming to South Africa and it's loaded. You do not want to miss it. Subscribe now. Let's talk about what this means for the Springboks preparation. Rossi Erasmus will love this story. Why? Because it's bulletin board material. He'll show this to the team. Look, England's best winger is studying our winger. They're trying to copy us. That means we're doing something right. Now let's go out there and show them the original is better than the copy. That's how you motivate a team. Use the opponent's respect as fuel. Here's the reality check England needs. You can study Cheslin all you want. You can watch every game. You can analyze every step. But you can't replicate what makes him special. The instinct, the fearlessness, the ability to execute under World Cup final pressure. Those aren't things you learn from video. Those are things you're born with. Arendel might become a great player, but there's only one Cheslin Colby, and England is about to be reminded of that on July 4th.
Now here's the additional context that makes this even better. It's not just Arendel copying the Springboks. England's entire system is trying to copy South Africa. Big physical forwards, bomb squad bench splits, kicking game. They're all looking at the back-to-back world champions thinking, what are they doing that we're not? And the answer is, everything. The Springboks aren't just winning, they're setting the standard that everyone else is chasing. That's dominance. Let me tell you about Cheslin's journey to becoming the player Arendel wants to copy. Started at Western Province. Too small, they said. Went to Toulouse in France, became a superstar, came back to South Africa for the World Cup, scored in the final, did it again 4 years later. That's a career of proving doubters wrong, and now he's the benchmark for the next generation. From too small to best in the world, that's a Springbok story. Here's what July 4th is really about. It's not just England versus South Africa, it's the student versus the teacher. Arendel has been studying Cheslin. Now he gets to face him. Does the student have what it takes to challenge the master, or does the master show him he's still got levels to climb? My money is on Cheslin, because being good on video and being good at Ellis Park in front of 60,000 screaming South Africans are two different things. So let me recap this incredible story. Cheslin Colby is so good that England's most dangerous young winger is publicly studying him. Henry Arendel, 23 years old, 11 tries and 12 caps, hat-trick against Wales, admits Cheslin is probably the best winger in the world. He's studying Cheslin's aerial game, his defensive positioning, his all-round brilliance. England is on a 12-game winning streak, but their players are still looking at the Springboks as the benchmark. July 4th at Ellis Park, the student faces the teacher. Arendel gets to test what he learned, but Cheslin will show him there's a difference between watching greatness and being greatness. This is South African dominance. The Springboks have the best winger in the world, and England just confirmed it. Cheslin Colby is the standard, the player everyone wants to copy. And on July 4th at Ellis Park, he's going to remind Henry Arendel why he's the benchmark. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the build-up to England versus Springboks is just getting started. Drop a comment if you think Cheslin will school his young admirer. The green and gold reign supreme.